Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are decoding a language you use literally every single day, even if you don't realize you're speaking it.
All right, let's kick things off with something super familiar, the smiley face. I mean, you've probably sent this thing hundreds, maybe thousands of times. Seems simple, right? Just a happy face. But oh, it is so much more complicated than that.
See, what this little guy actually means, it completely depends on who you're talking to. For, say, an older generation, it's exactly what it looks like, a genuine smile. But for younger folks, the emoji natives, this can be pure weapons-grade passive aggression. It's the same exact symbol, but it carries two totally different meanings. Wild, right?
So yeah, more than just a smiley face. This little example just goes to show you, emojis are way more than just silly pictures we stick at the end of a sentence. They're a really crucial and often super misunderstood part of how we all talk to each other now.
I mean, think about it. These things have gone from being a kind of niche, nerdy little symbol to an absolutely essential tool that billions of people use every single day. So how on earth did we get here? And what does this all mean for, the future of communication?
Okay, so let's look at the big picture here, because we're not just talking about decorating our text with little pictures. Nope. What we're actually witnessing is the birth of a whole new language. And it has a name. Experts are calling this Emoji Speak. The best way to think about it is, it's a language that kind of frees us from the old stuffy rules of grammar. It lets us add layers of emotion and meaning that plain text just can't.
Yeah, it's so fundamental that some linguists argue we should think of emoji as a verb, right? It's not just a thing, it's something you do. You don't just send a text, you emoji someone. It's an action.
And the history here is just fascinating, and it all happens so fast. It started with simple text characters, the colon and parentheses, way back in 1982. Then boom, Japan drops the first real set of 176 emojis. Apple puts it on the iPhone for everyone in 2011, and it just explodes. Just 4 years later, the face with tears of joy emoji, it's named the Oxford Dictionary's Word of the Year. A picture, that's a meteoric rise. And you gotta understand, Emoji Speak is a really big umbrella term. We're not just talking about the little yellow faces. It includes everything. Those old school emoticons, stickers, memes, GIFs, even those sound emojis you can send now. It's basically our entire visual and now audio toolkit for digital communication.
But, just like any language, things can get, lost in translation. And with Emoji Speak, that happens all the time, especially when you cross cultures, generations, or even just different apps.
Take the professional world, for example. In many Western offices, dropping an emoji in a work email, probably not a great idea. Kind of seen as unprofessional. But in China, on an app like WeChat, it's totally normal, even between a boss and an employee. Sending a red rose emoji is just a common way of saying thank you.
And this is a perfect example of how different platforms develop their own secret dialects. If you're not on WeChat, you'd have no idea what these mean. The number 666 means cool. That little stick figure is a hug. The handshake means respect. It's a whole insider code you have to learn to be fluent.
And don't even get me started on the generational divides. They are huge. Over on TikTok, you'll see something called fairy comments. People will write something absolutely savage or sarcastic, but pair it with these super sweet, sparkly, innocent emojis. And the whole joke is in that clash, that total mismatch between the words and the vibe.
All right, Section 4, the hidden power of emoji. Because this goes way beyond simple miscommunications. We're getting into how these little pictures actually hold real power, shaping our emotions, our politics, and even social movements.
Okay, so linguists have this term, emoji expressives. The idea is that the emoji basically acts as your tone of voice in a text. Just look at this example. All three replies say the exact same word, okay, but the emoji, or the lack of one, completely transforms the meaning. It goes from friendly to annoyed to downright angry.
And this is the really key takeaway here. In our digital world today, not using an emoji isn't neutral. Sending a message with no emoji at all can come across as cold or short or even angry. The absence of an emoji is its own statement.
And this power absolutely extends into politics. That raised fist emoji, it's become a global shorthand for the Black Lives Matter movement. The yellow and blue hearts are an instant sign of solidarity with Ukraine. These symbols can unite millions of people who don't even speak the same language, and they can become so powerful that tech platforms like Instagram have actually banned or restricted certain ones.
So, the future of feeling. This all brings us to a really interesting tension, kind of a battle for control at the very heart of this new global language. Who decides what these symbols mean and how they get to shape our lives?
So who is in charge of emojis? It sounds like a simple question, but the answer is surprisingly complex. Because you've got this formal, official process on one side, and then on the other, you just have, well, beautiful, creative chaos.
And here's the central conflict. There's this one small tech organization, the Unicode Consortium, that decides which new emojis get added to our keyboards. That's a very top-down system. But what those emojis actually mean? Oh, that's completely bottom-up. That's decided by billions of us every day negotiating and completely reinventing their meaning.
This whole situation creates this really strange disconnect. Online, Emoji Speak is this wild free-for-all. It's a grassroots language where we can all share and remix things constantly. But the second you try to take it offline, say put an emoji on a t-shirt or in a book, you run into a wall of corporate copyright. It's a very weird split.
Which kind of leaves us with this one big question to chew on. As our online and offline lives keep blending together, what happens with a language that's defined by us, the users, and not by some official authority? As this visual, grassroots language keeps evolving, how is it going to reshape not just how we communicate, but our reality itself?